At the Australian Jewish Association, we like to think outside the box regarding the conflict between Israel and the Palestinian Arabs. After all, the current thinking has so far achieved no peace in 100 years and only widened the rift between the two. Our latest initiative is certainly bold and provocative, but if you rely on mainstream Jewish community communications, you have probably not heard about it, and for a very good reason. All our communal organisations have boycotted it. An article by AJA President David Adler in the current edition of Spectator Australia presents a new and pointed angle regarding the Israel-Palestinian conflict. Very simply, the AJA formed the view that the PA meets the criteria as a terror organisation under the Criminal Code Act. We sought legal advice from Jeremy Rapke QC, a senior criminal barrister with experience in international law, and he confirmed our assessment that the PA satisfies the conditions for being designated as a terror organisation according to Australian law. Everyone has known for years what the PA is all about. It is undemocratic, repressive, corrupt dictatorship. Its leaders siphon off millions of dollars of international aid intended for the Palestinian people, only to build mansions for themselves, as well as amass fortunes in their overseas bank accounts. And then, of course, there is the terrorism. The PA instigates, encourages, promotes and rewards terror activities against Jewish Israelis. The Palestinian media talks in Arabic not about peace with Israel, but of killing Jews and eradicating the modern state of Israel. Their Pay for Slay program was outed last year in this country by the AJA, and as a result, $10 million of direct and unaccountable government funds to the PA was halted, going instead to the United Nations in order to better find its way to the Palestinian people. So by all standards, the PA is clearly a terrorist organisation, but to have an eminent legal expert state that formally is a major development that can't be waved off. The implications here are substantial and raise questions such as, how does this affect our foreign policy regarding aid provided to the Palestinian territories? What does it say about Labor's intention to recognise a state of Palestine if it wins the election and forms government? What does this mean for the two-state solution? Israel refuses to formally negotiate with Hamas because it is a terror organisation, so where does that leave the PA? But if you think this could be an interesting dialogue within the community, then you are going to be disappointed because none of our communal organisations are even going to discuss it. It's a big enough story for Sky News, the Jerusalem Post and international bloggers, but not for the ZFA, AJAC, the ECAJ, the JCCV or even the New South Wales Jewish Board of Deputies. A report in the Australian Jewish News said that when approached, both AJAC and the ZFA declined to comment. Let me say that again. Here is a story that goes to the very heart of what AJAC and the ZFA do as a core business, and they have no comment? What wimps they are. They don't even have the courage to publicly defend their views. Like spoiled brats, these organisations are boycotting the AJA, and we can only think it all boils down to the issue of control. Our communal organisations want to control the conversations we have within our community, and they don't like the AJA, which has opinions that don't conform to their leftist groupthink views. We say that the two-state solution has been an abject failure for nearly 100 years, but our organisations are holding on to it for dear life as the only conversation in town. Designating the PA as a terror organisation throws this whole discussion into chaos, which is not very politically correct from their point of view. There are alternatives for peace, of course, about 5 of them, but most people won't have heard of them because, again, in this country, no one has allowed them to be part of the discussion. I won't elaborate on them now, but they don't include apartheid, ethnic cleansing, or a forced population exchange, as the scaremongers would have you believe. The AJA is simply saying this: let's be honest about what we are dealing with in the Palestinian Authority. There is no point pretending they are something they are not. That is, a reasonable political entity with the best interests of their people at heart. The PA has only one objective, and that is to replace a Jewish Israel with a binational, Arab-controlled state which will have a Jewish minority. There are really two uncomfortable truths that need to be faced here. One, the PA is essentially a terror organisation, and two, our communal organisations are too terrified to even enter into this discussion. It is very clear that the only organisation that is prepared to stand up and discuss this is the Australian Jewish Association. We're prepared to talk about the reality of the Middle East. This is Alan Friedman for the Australian Jewish Association.